what in the world were you doing with 150,000 images of child porn?
New developments in the case against the Minneapolis Park Police Chief, accused of molesting dozens of kids. We go looking for answers. It hardly looks real. A giant muddy sinkhole swallowing an entire intersection in Guatemala City. How Minnesotans are helping after the storm.
Tuesday brought some scattered strong storms and some much needed rain, but not everyone got it. There's more rain in the forecast. It's a shortened week, and we're already looking ahead to the weekend. I've got your weather first.
I'm Rob Olson. Sometimes the most complicated problems have what sound like the most simple solutions. Like at the U of M, where engineers are making fuel out of bags of garbage and a microwave. Seriously.
Fox 9 News at 9 starts now.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Could a former cop jump bail and run to Canada? We broke the news last week that prosecutors were trying to tighten their hold on Bill Jacobs.
He's the former cop, camp counselor, and teacher accused of molesting boys over a 50-year period. Tom LYDEN was at the court hearing and joins us now with the details. Tom?
Well, when Bill Jacobs made bail in January, the case against him was very different. Accused of molesting just one 15-year-old boy. Now there are many more victims and a whole lot more child porn. Prosecutors say Jacobs, who will turn 67 this summer, has nothing to lose, which is exactly why they want to keep a closer eye on him.
We don't think he ought to have a summer vacation in Lutz.
We interrupt this press conference
Hi, Bill.
to bring you Bill Jacobs slipping out of the courthouse.
Not going to talk to you.
Oh, that's fine. I'm going to keep talking to you.
And prosecutors worry where else Jacobs may sneak off to, like Canada. Jacobs has been staying at his cabin in Lutzen, just 60 miles from the border. His attorney, Joe FRIEDBERG, told the court Canada is not Libya.
The Canadians would pick him up in an instant and send him right back.
But prosecutors say Jacobs is a flight risk, with more than 20 victims coming forward, saying Jacobs molested them at Blake and Breck private schools and the YMCA's Camp Warren more than 30 years ago. And forensic analysis revealing the former park cop had more than 150,000 images of child porn on his computers and hard drives.
He's a former cop. He knows what it's like to spend the rest of your time in jail.
Not going to talk to you.
Oh, that's fine. I'm going to keep talking to you. 150,000 images of child porn. Bill, what in the world were you doing with 150,000 images of child porn?
Well, what was he doing with 150,000 images of child porn?
I said, once your computer starts downloading, I guess it doesn't quit.
Prosecutors are concerned Jacobs was trading those images, that he still might find access to the internet. And they say he's virtually unsupervised.
I may just follow you all the way to Lutzen, Bill.
Well, a judge decides Jacobs is free to return to his cabin in Lutzen tonight, where no one knows his name, his face, or the allegations against him.
Are you still on the computer, Bill? Still looking up pornographic images of children, Bill?
Victim number 20 came forward just last week, and prosecutors describe him as a high-profile figure who does not want his name to go public. All 20 of these cases are too old to prosecute. Judge Daniel Moreno will rule on these tighter restrictions like electronic home monitoring and random visits sometime soon. The trial is scheduled for October, but attorney Joe FRIEDBERG said today he would never rule out the possibility of a plea bargain. Tom LYDEN, Fox 9 News.
It's a horrific case of child abuse. An 11-year-old boy beaten and burned with an iron only to suffer more punishment in an oven. Now 23-year-old William Hurley is found guilty of malicious punishment of a child. The judge handing down the verdict this afternoon. According to court documents, Hurley hit the boy with his fists and an extension cord because he went into his mother's room. When the boy tried to hide in the oven, prosecutors say his mother, Deborah Chapman, turned it on and to force him out. Hurley will be sentenced July 21st. Chapman goes to trial later this month.
Well, here's video everyone's talking about. Check out this huge sinkhole in Guatemala City. It swallowed up an entire intersection, including a clothing factory, after Tropical Storm Agatha. It really just looks like something out of a movie completely. Curious onlookers have been gathering at the massive, almost perfectly circular hole. Authorities estimate it's 66 feet wide, nearly 100 feet deep, and luckily, no one there was hurt. But it is a much different story throughout the rest of the region. Mudslides and torrential flooding responsible for hundreds of injuries and dozens of deaths after Tropical Storm Agatha tore through this weekend.
The story hitting very close to home for a church in New Ulm. The church runs a mission in the village of San Lucas, which is in the mountains just west of Guatemala City. Scott Wasserman has more on a priest here in Minnesota who wishes he was there. Scott?
Well, behind me are the pictures of a town in Guatemala hard hit by this mudslide. Father Greg Schaefer from the New Ulm Diocese has called this place home for nearly 50 years. While most people are evacuating the area, Father Greg's trying to get home. For 3 days now, Father Greg Schaefer has been in constant contact with his friends in San Lucas, Guatemala, trying to get information about the devastating mudslides.
Houses became inundated, some destroyed, some crushed, some buried, and then others just filled with mud and debris.
Father Greg has been the pastor of the town of 17,000 for 47 years. He recently returned to Minnesota on a sabbatical to pray and study. While most people would feel fortunate to miss the disaster, Father Greg says his leave couldn't have come at a worse time.
I don't want to be gone at a time like this. This is the time I want to be there more than anything else.
For Father Greg, news could not come fast enough about the Guatemalans he loves and the volunteers like Dr. Michael Merck, an ophthalmologist from Hutchinson who has spent the past 17 years providing free medical services to the people. At the time of the mudslides, the doctor was in the town with his wife, 2 children, and 3 others from his office.
We feel very fortunate, and our hearts go out to the people who, due to their own circumstances, are forced to build homes in such vulnerable areas.
Dr. Merck spoke with us this evening from San Lucas.
It's heart-wrenching. My wife spent the afternoon embracing women who had lost their husbands and children, and basically just weeping and crying with them. It was very emotional.
So far, 10 people are known dead in the city, with the number expected to rise.
There was an entire family and their children buried in a home. Just tragic circumstances here.
As for Father Greg, over the last 5 decades, he's helped the people acquire land to grow food, purchase and distribute their cash crop coffee, and build homes. But in a flash, much of the hard work has been undone.
And these are colonies of houses that we helped build. And people lost them. And so that's pretty tough.
Hard to see for the father there. Dr. Merck continues to help in San Lucas and plans on returning to Minnesota next week. Father Greg is turning his sabbatical into a fundraiser to raise money to help the people of San Lucas rebuild. Father Greg hopes to return to his home as soon as possible. To help the people of San Lucas, just go to our website, myfox9.com. Back to you guys.
All right, Scott. An Elk River family warning other parents accidents can happen in the blink of an eye. Their 7-year-old daughter nearly drowned Saturday night at Orono Lake in Elk River. Police say 7-year-old Emily Lewandowski was floating on an inner tube when she fell through the hole and went under. She wasn't wearing a life jacket. Her father rushed in to get her, but it took about 2 or 3 minutes to find her in the murky water. She was unconscious and not breathing when he pulled her out. There's no lifeguard at that beach, and little Emily is at North Memorial Medical Center in critical condition.
She was supposed to be making money for a Lakeville elementary school. Instead, a mother is charged with 4 counts of theft, accused of stealing thousands of dollars. As treasurer of the Oak Hills Elementary Parent-Teacher Organization, Lisa Miller was in charge of the checkbook. Prosecutors say money started to disappear in October 2008, about the same time Miller lost her job.